We are on it. Hi, welcome back to this replay here of the Facebook live feed. Today I'm sitting here with Robert D. Hamilton. The D is important, I think. And our topic today is how to become successful as a life coach. Why did I choose the title? Because we are training NLP coaches, we are training coaches, and so many times most people actually have a question, how do I get started? And it's really important to them to get tips from not just me always, because they get bored with me maybe, but also from somebody who is actually coaching. So Robert, why don't you just say something about who you are as a person? Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Rob Hamilton.
Hamilton. Not Robert, are you?
or Robert, you can call me either, I don't really mind. And I'm a performance coach and also like a branding coach for other coaches and entrepreneurs.
Right, and I actually know Robert for a couple of years now already, right? Five years, well, time flies. So we stayed together along that line. Robert was living here in Malaysia for a couple of years. Then he went back to the UK. You are originally you're a Brit.
I'm a Brit.
Sorry about that one. That's okay. And now you are back in Malaysia. So what brings you back?
What brings me back is a contract, really, a coaching contract with an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneurial coach.
Right.
Okay. He's an entrepreneurial coach, and he is in the self-improvement industry as well. I don't want to give details about who it is.
You shouldn't.
But yeah, so that's what's brought me back here again.
So one question people always ask is, so I find you right now as a life coach. Are you a life coach?
No, I'm not. I'm not a life coach.
You're not a life coach. I'm not invited to the wrong one. Oh no!
and this live stream is actually called "How to Become a Successful Life Coach."
It is called a successful life coach, but you're more than just a life coach, right?
Rule number one is don't call yourself a life coach, and maybe we'll go into that later. So I do more performance.
Go straight away inside. Go straight away.
Oh, okay. The reason you shouldn't call yourself a life coach is because what is...
Stop there, I'm just checking something out here.
What is a life coach? It's too general, it's too broad, and you really have to find a niche. You know, a life coach was good 20, 30 years ago when there wasn't very many coaches around. But now there's tons of coaches, so you've really got to narrow down and focus on what it is you specialise in.
Hey Martin, good to see you as well, alright? I'm happy to see you, okay?
I don't know you, but hi.
It's also one of our students, okay? Recently he was here, and Martin is very successful as a children's educator and a coach in Penang. So welcome Martin.
Wow.
Give me a high five via the internet, alright? I just call you life coach right now, even though you mentioned specialization, of course, is important. What is important to you about coaching?
About
what
coaching,
drives you? What drives you?
What drives me is that I fully believe that everybody has got vast potential inside of them.
Right.
And a lot of people don't actually use that potential. They don't even tap into it. So I like to help people unlock that potential. I like to see them performing better than what they can actually do.
So it's important for you to help people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Why is that important to you?
It's important to me because I was going through until I was about 27, and I was underestimating myself. I was in dead-end jobs, earning very little money.
Right.
You know, but then when I had some intervention and I started unlocking my potential, I realised, wow, I'm actually better than what I thought I was.
Okay. So that happened to you until you were 27, right?
Yeah.
And you unlocked your own potential through coaching or through what happened?
The avenue I used was self-hypnosis.
I see,
and subliminal tapes, which was to unlock the negative conditioning I'd received.
Kyrol, Martin, if you can hear us, if you are loud enough for you, thanks, just type in a a like you did here right now, because I want to know if we are loud enough, if you can hear us, because because we are the two of us today, and my phone is a little bit further away from us. So can you hear us? All right, thank you so much on that one. Okay, and if you think it's an interesting topic, because here I'm speaking to a life coach from the UK who is coming back to Malaysia now. If you think this topic is also important to other people, Kyrol and Martin, why don't you share this video already with your friends on your timeline so they get notified via Facebook that this is going on here right now, and maybe more people can join us. All right? So, and I'm just asking a couple of questions that I wrote down here, and I asked earlier the question, of course, if you guys had question to Robert. So I want to, so why, again, it might sound a bit repetitive, why did you choose to become a life coach?
Why?
Yeah.
So
why?
that I could...
I mean, there are many jobs around, okay, life, and coaching is still a new business somewhere along that line.
Yeah, well, I was a trainer and a coach, if you like, at work.
All right.
Where I had to it was performance related.
Okay.
So people would come into the department and I would get them achieving way beyond what they thought, what they could actually achieve, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So
say them more on that.
Yeah, so I was unlocking their potential. So for example, I'd give them a target, they thought they could never ever get there.
Okay.
But I helped them get to that target.
Okay.
So it was then that I started realising that people they were like elastic bands, really. They were much better if they were stretched.
People are elastic bands, do you like that? Hey Evelyn, good to see you, and I saw Gurmeet as well. So keep talking about people being elastic bands.
So
what do you mean by that?
People are better when they're stretched.
Okay.
And so people tend to set lower limits of what they're actually capable of.
Okay.
So that's what got me into coaching, was I was able to unlock that thinking for people, so that they could achieve better results than what they thought they were possible to achieve.
One more thing for you guys listening here right now. It is okay if you've got a question to Robert, just fire the question away, because it's your session here right now. Feel free to ask questions, as many as you want. Really squeeze his brain. You can't squeeze him as a person right now, but ask great questions, because that's what he is here for. I've got questions here written down. Some of you sent questions, but feel free to shoot don't shoot, but feel free to write down some questions, support each other, comment on each other's comments, and I'm picking the questions up via my laptop over here. Let me just refresh the laptop, and hopefully we can answer all the questions that you guys have about coaching from a real guy here, all right? Robert, how long have you been in coaching now?
Must be 10 years. 10 years.
10 years.
Sorry.
10 years.
I'm not talking loud enough, so I need to speak a bit louder.
Robert is not necessarily, hey Connie, Robert is not necessarily shy, but he is not...
I'm not shy. I just have a naturally deep voice, so I'm presuming that you're going to hear it.
Okay. So feel free, I'm talking today to Robert D. Hamilton. He was, I always got a problem with the D part here, who lived in Malaysia for many years. About 3 years ago or so, you went 4 years ago, okay. You went back to the UK, coming back here now on a coaching assignment with a company, and I just invited him over because we had the series here in Asia Mind Dynamics, the series about coaching already anyway, and I just realized that my signboard over there doesn't show Asia Mind Dynamics. Gosh, it's cut out. Oh no! I was trying so hard to put that in. Hey KG, all right, okay. Good 10 years in coaching. Is everything always successful?
Not always, no. There's ups and downs, you know, in any business.
Okay. Okay, keep talking.
You want me to give you a down, an example of a down? Or?
Tell me about a situation when you were coaching somebody, you coached somebody and you had most likely great aspirations, great expectations, and suddenly things not always work out, suddenly things went haywire. Tell me about that situation.
Well,
how do you recover?
I can give you a coaching scenario that went wrong when I first started out. I had a a mother come to me, she actually phoned me
Oh.
and wanted me to coach her son who was 27 years old.
Oh, 27.
He was 27,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And I said yes, because I was very new. She just said he needed some inspiration. And I agreed to coach him, so I went and met him. She paid me. He didn't even pay. He had a good job. He could afford it as well.
Okay, okay.
And then when I got there and saw him, I sort of instantly knew that he had real strong anger issues. And me being a very, very novice coach, I tried to sort of waffle my way through it, and I tried to avoid his anger issues because I had no idea how to address them either. And so I sort of waffled my way through this 90 minutes coaching session.
Well, only one session of it?
Just this one session, yeah.
Like a leader.
Luckily. And I left, but that actually, by just taking on anybody, it taught me a really good lesson because it dented my confidence as a coach. I was just starting out. And I thought, wow, yeah. Is it going to be this difficult? And I actually went off coaching for about 2 or 3 months.
Oh, wow, okay.
Afterwards, because I thought, wow, this is too hard, I'm not qualified,
Yeah.
never going to be able to do this.
But you only did it for 2 months hiatus, is it?
Yeah, it was about 2 months I went off, and then I did more learning, and then realised that I couldn't coach everybody.
Oh. Okay, you couldn't coach anybody, so
not everybody, no.
What did you do then? What?
Well, what I did was I started qualifying people who were phoning me up, like just by asking them questions.
Okay.
What outcome did they want? Yeah.
Okay.
What outcome did they want from the coaching? That was my main question. I still use that one now.
All right,
what outcome would you like from the coaching?
Okay. So what are the problems you're solving with your clients? What are the types of work you're doing actually?
The type now that I do is performance related. And I usually find when people have had a drop in performance, not always, and everybody is different, but it normally falls down to one of 3 things. It will be their belief in themselves, their confidence level, or it will be their goals.
It's always like that, isn't it?
As well. So it's one of those 3, or it's a combination of those 3.
Okay.
So I work in restoring that belief, restoring the confidence.
Restoring in themselves.
Yeah.
Restoring the beliefs in themselves, all right. Hey guys, if you... I know, hey Lena, you're also here, KG, you're here. If you like what you hear, why don't you give us a like or a heart once again, so Robert can take a sip of water and again share the video if you think it. I think it's fantastic that he's here. Thanks. It's fantastic that he's here, and share this video on your timeline so your friends can also. Thank you, lots of hearts. I feel like, oh, warming up, isn't it nice? Okay, at least get some friends.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. So, let me ask you, what is the relationship between what you're doing here right now as a coach and what you did earlier as a coach?
Well, what I've done now is I've sort of narrowed down my niche now. So, when I first started out, I was trying to appeal to everybody.
Yeah, everybody, yeah. I have to check something here.
Appealing to everyone. There's a big thing in marketing, you know, if you try and appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one.
Right.
So you really have to narrow it down. I know I said this before, but it's crucial if you want to become a successful coach. You've got to narrow down who you're actually aiming for and who you want to help.
I was just checking the live feed here on my laptop, and there's still no comment from your side, no questions asked. Feel free to ask any questions. I know KG, for example, you always have great questions, so really squeeze that man's head, brain, whatever you want.
If you're thinking of getting into coaching, or even if you're a coach now, then please post us a question. What frustrations or problems or predicament, what are you facing right now? Please ask us.
What are the frustrations you had when you started off?
Like everyone else, finding clients. And it's the biggest one, even today. Every single coach and entrepreneur that comes to me, finding clients. Robert, how do I get more clients?
And it gets tougher, you know.
What people ask.
When we started out, Lena, thanks. Okay, I'm gonna peep at your question in just a moment. I can't see it from the distance. Okay, hold on, Gagey, please go ahead and ask. Don't watch only. Hey, Lena, you encourage. That's great, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, when we started up in Asia, when I started up as a coach, I had no idea how to find coaches as well, but my luck was basically coaching was very new at that time. I started off in 2004, 2005, 2006, and I had a website, a pathetic website at that time. And suddenly, by chance, somebody came to the website and called me up and said, Andreas, I need a coach. And I thought, yes, let's meet up. And that time I didn't have an office as beautiful as this one here. I went to Starbucks to meet people. Every Starbucks in town was my Starbucks. I talked to people for the initial conversation, then it was more of a struggle. But I think what is also important then ultimately is once you've got one good coachee, finding the right coachee is good, doing good work is important, and then getting referrals from those guys, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So that's why if you narrow it down and you specialise in one area, you'll actually do a better job and give that person better value.
Right.
So and then that person will get more results. So if that person's happy and they're getting great results and you've solved their problems and you've inspired them or whatever it is you do, they will then go on and tell other people, which helps you then find more business. And it also builds your confidence up as a coach.
Absolutely.
Because you know that you've done a great job.
You mentioned earlier that humans are rubber bands. No, you didn't say that, but you can stretch them to unleash their potential, to use a very word everybody uses. So, but tell me about a situation where you were coaching somebody and you really realize, wow, yeah, I'm getting it. This is really, it's working. I'm stretching them beyond what they believed they could achieve.
One of my best examples of that was actually coaching the Malaysian tennis player out here.
You don't want to mention any name, or can you mention the name?
Can I mention the name? He won't mind.
Okay.
He won't mind. Sean Okseng, I actually coached him. And he'd been a great tennis player. He's a lovely guy, by the way. He'd been in the Malaysian Davis Cup team. But somehow, a lot after the years when he was a junior, now he was on the senior tour. But somewhere since then and now, a few years ago, he'd lost that magic and that belief and that confidence, if you like. So we worked together, we had a few sessions together, and one of his mental blocks, actually, which I don't know why, I never get this, but one of his mental blocks was beating the white guys, because the tennis players are a lot taller.
Oh my God!
They're all a lot taller. The tennis players, not me, I'm really short.
I'm all short.
Talking about the tennis players. So the great thing there was that Sean did a great job, and he went out to Europe and he beat the other Spanish player on home soil in Barcelona. He won the Barcelona Masters or something. So for me that was like fantastic.
Thing, all right.
Yeah, so he was number 325 in the world, and he went up to number 25 in the world.
Wow, that's quite an achievement, right?
Within 3 months, yeah.
That's pretty cool. If you like what you hear, once again, just give us a like, give us a heart, or share this video across other people's timeline, so that, hey Matt, so that they also can listen to this live feed, because I think it's interesting. If you think it's interesting, just write down it's interesting. Alright, I got a whole list of questions here. I gotta check out which one I have asked already, and then I gotta take off my glasses.
I can see all the likes, but I can't see who they're off.
What's your qualification? What makes you a coach? What did you, how, because I believe, sorry to say that, it's very easy to become a coach.
Absolutely.
Earlier on, Sean, I'm sorry to say that now, not for you right now, because I know it's qualified, but maybe you can agree with me on this one. There was a time everybody could become a headhunter or a recruitment agent, because it's just going to the printer shop, printing a business card. Now I'm an executive recruiter. It's the same for trainers, actually. It's the same for coaches.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I worked 20 years in company ABC, don't want to do it anymore, so I leave the company, I see myself as qualified, I'm going to go out and print business cards, now I'm an executive coach. Don't want to be cynical, but sometimes I have the feeling it is like that, you know. So somewhere along that line, to be qualified as a coach, to me, I think is somewhat important. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, you know, there should be, but then you have qualifications and you have qualifications. We were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes now you can go and get an NLP certificate for 1 day's training.
It's terrific, isn't it?
So somebody can then show that certificate. Does that mean they're qualified?
Right.
You know, so there's qualifications and qualifications, but I believe mostly it's experience as well.
But how is somebody who is not yet experienced gaining experience? Is it useful to, what do you say?
Yeah, that's a tough one as well, but there'll be something that you're good at. That's, again, it fits into your niche.
Right.
For example, you know, like I was good in my job at getting people to peak performance. So that was my niche in coaching.
Right.
So I already had some skills there, you see, already. So I could build on those.
That's important, right? Yeah.
I also did a coaching diploma as well. I did a life enhancement course. I did a basic counselling course. I did NLP.
You mentioned it, yay!
NLP practitioner course. Saving the best to last. Saving the best to last. But I've also, you know, what qualifies me is I've studied, you know, people since the age of 4, and I've studied self-improvement for 26, 27 years.
Right, wow, okay.
You know, so.
But what would, again, one of the questions we got actually was, I'm starting up as a coach and I want to coach 100 people for free. To get experience. Would you agree that this is a good strategy? Or what do you think about that?
No, I don't
Ask questions!
I don't think it's a good strategy at all. And a lot of people do come up with that. They actually say, right, maybe I should just go and do 10, you know, free coaching sessions and then that'll give me experience. But it won't. It'll actually demotivate you. It's number one, because you're not getting any money for it.
Okay.
Even though you might see a long-term view. Number two, the person that you're coaching isn't paying.
Right. Justin, it's your question we are answering right now.
And there's another rule as well.
Start again, okay? I was just answering your question, Justin, about shall you do the 100 sessions for free to gain the experience? And Robert here, a life coach, more than a life coach from the UK, actually just answered your question. So quickly summarize it again, please.
Well, in a nutshell, no, don't do that. But what you can do instead is you could do a free seminar, which is a group coaching session. It's like a group coaching session.
How many people?
So you could get 15, 20 people to that, do 2 or 3 of those for free, and then that'll give you some experience because you'll get feedback and questions on that.
Right.
You know, so then that will help you. But to do 100 for free,
it's too much.
It's
100 hours, you know, it's 100 hours.
And the second point that I don't know if you caught this. Sorry if you did, but if people don't pay, they don't pay attention. So
say that again. If people, I like that. If
people
don't pay, they
don't pay attention.
Wow, that's a cool sentence.
So that's why you have to charge people.
All right, okay. Still, let me ask you a question, because I was reading one time something about, and I somewhat as a startup would agree a little bit with that. Not taking 100 people now, but do some quick 1 hour goal sessions with certain people, goal setting sessions, and help them in that 1 hour to get rid of maybe one issue. They will feel good about it, but it's just 1 hour.
Yeah.
So you can say, hey, I've done 1 hour with you here right now. How much better will you feel if we do another 5, 6, 7 hours?
Yeah.
But that is chargeable.
Yeah.
Would that be a good strategy?
That is a good strategy as well, but I still think, why do it one at a time? You know, if you want to, if to give you confidence means that you have to see 100 people, then I'd rather just do 5 seminars for free with 20 people in each one.
Okay,
Because
but maybe people could push back heavily because you don't have the experience, right?
They could, but how else are you going to get? So could one-on-one. They could
Okay.
also.
Yeah, push back. Depends
They,
on the right person.
can push back, yeah.
Okay.
They can push back
Okay,
as well.
okay.
So.
And you always got to say, okay, you got to find the topics then that you are really actually quite good in it, isn't it?
Yeah, and what
so
you're
that you have
passionate about.
What you're passionate about,
Yeah.
and you have some experience around, and then people will feel good in whatever you tell them. And it's a little bit of thinking on your feet as well, right?
Yeah.
Knowing your area, and sometimes just wiggling yourself out of certain situations.
Well, it's like if you take, people say, well, I haven't got experience. But for example, you could have a lady or a man whose marriage was breaking up and they saved their marriage. Now that's great experience that you could use in a coaching role. So you're killing two birds with one stone. Before we talked about having a niche. So the general part of that coaching is relationships.
Okay.
But then you go down into a subtopic, which is saving marriages.
Okay, that's true.
So that's a niche.
And you
so
could
you could then be that coach.
And saving marriages could be different styles of marriages, right? For
Absolutely.
example, it could be somebody who was married for 15 or 20 years already.
Yeah.
It would be one niche because their challenges are different compared to maybe some people saving marriages or working on marriages with people who are married for just 2 or 3 years, and suddenly the first feelings of being in love fades away, the normal life that's it. And hey, even coaching for newlywed people.
Absolutely. So you've got subtopics, you know. So you
Because
can
all of that is a different mindset,
yeah.
right?
So there's some experience that you have, or you must be feeling drawn into coaching. You can't just say, "I'm going to help people." I'm going to help people do what?
Yeah.
What's the end result that you want? So you will know what you want. So it means you've got some either passion there, you've got some interest there, or you've got some experience there. Because you must be thinking, I want to help them in this area.
Do you like that? If you like it, just press a like, okay? Okay. Hey, Justin, of course, I was waiting for your question. When you are coaching a client, which of the 7 areas of life should I start first? What are the 7 areas of life?
Yeah, can you be a bit more specific?
Then you would have to be a bit more specific. What kind of 7 areas of life should I start first? Now, do not wait for your response now for 7 areas. I would assume are, for example, health, money.
But what was the question again? Sorry, is he
Yes,
asking which?
you wrote down it right on. Okay.
Which?
How about okay? Oh wow, KG. Hey, and support each other. Okay, let's start with KG first now. How about being an emotional coach? Nowadays, most focus on entrepreneurship, but not much in dealing on emotional aspects. Can you be an emotional coach?
In what field? You know, I can be emotional. I can be crying.
No, not you as a coach now, but can you be a coach who works on people's emotion?
Absolutely, if that's what you want, but then you still have to narrow it down.
Such as?
You've got to be specific. Well, what does that conjure up in your mind? What's an emotional coach? I don't know what an emotional coach is.
A coach, KG, to me, that could be, hey, nicely played back on me.
Well, no, it's played back as well.
No, it's true. It's good. It's a good question, KG. Absolutely. What I would assume. Let me just see if you added on something else. Okay. And Justin, please add on some more comments. Okay. Emotional coach would be, for instance, to me, what I'm doing is I work on. We are specialized here very much on anxiety, which is an emotion, panic, fear, phobias, depression. These are the kind of areas we are focused on, and these are emotions, KG, to work on. You could work on anger management, or stress.
In that context, there's lots of coaches doing that sort of stuff now. But again, that's where I'm repeating myself because it's important. So narrow one of those fields down. Don't just be an emotional coach and try and cover everything. Why not specialize in either anxiety or depression or anger or stress, whatever it is, but choose one of those. Stress is huge now. Choose one of those fields. The one that you're passionate about, the one that you want to do, or the one that you've got knowledge of or experience in.
Right. Now, for example, KG, an emotional coach, being specialized, for example, just in phobias. And putting your name out with regard to phobias. I'm the phobia coach.
Yeah.
People will not ignore you overall when you're saying I'm working with people on their phobia. They will come to you and say, I know you do phobia, but can you also do work on self-esteem, or do you also work on anger overall? And they refer you these people as well. But you have a name being a phobia coach or a anxiety coach or what other areas you're working on. And even anxiety, you could work on anxiety for presentation. You could work on anxiety with regard to getting married, for example. Okay, you asked one more question. Let me see if I can answer that. Coaching kids on their emotions. KG is asking, coaching kids on their emotions. What are you saying there?
What can that be done? Or?
Yeah,
absolutely. There's it's starting to grow a little bit now in the UK.
Here as well.
They're doing a lot of counselling in the UK, which I believe is a really good service that's offered. However, counselling is more sort of reactive. Counselling is there for when the problem's already arisen. Whereas I think a coaching, it can be, they can halt or change and change that behaviour and then prevent you know, the anxiety getting worse or getting more entrenched or whatever. But that's a new field and a new niche, and so you'd have to research, is it growing? People interested in that now?
I think it's
Could
growing
you make money
in
from
Malaysia,
it?
definitely. Coaching kids, again, you also got to say, of course, different types of children. Do you coach a juvenile? Is it called juvenile?
Juvenile, yeah.
Or do you coach somebody who is toward the end of the teens? Somebody before puberty, in puberty, 5-year-old kids, 8-year-old kids, all of them have different issues all together.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not specialized in coaching kids. I'd rather tell them they're over my head. I've got enough to do with my one boy. I'd rather coach the parents, but I think that would be the answer that I would give. That I would rather really narrow it down, age-like, and check that state of the child, for example, and really coach on this one. Coaching self-esteem for children. Or nowadays here in Malaysia, and you just talked about it earlier as well for the UK, coaching on bullying, how to avoid bullying, how to stand up against bullies, how to overcome bullyism, or even coach the bully. Because when somebody bullies, in my opinion, is like they have a huge self-esteem and they only can get their power by bullying other people. So coach the bully. Coach the parents of the bully as well, because sometimes parents let kids go too much and they become bullies.
So there's loads of areas if you want to be coaching children.
Absolutely.
You know, and kids. But like what Andreas was saying, you can narrow it down. There's so many niches for you.
Okay, you got it. Support each other's comments. Why don't you go ahead and like each other's comments as well? Ask more questions, because we are here right now. I am today talking to Robert D. Hamilton, who was earlier in Malaysia first, then he was back to the UK. Now he's back here in Malaysia. Maybe he works a little bit longer here in Malaysia. I might just bring you over to meet some of those people if you want.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Don't say that now, it's coming tomorrow morning, alright? Early morning. Let me see if I have other questions overall, okay? How to find clients? Yes, I asked it already. Relationship, I asked. Is it possible to charge clients differently based on clients' needs and ability to pay? Basically, it means if I've got a client, do I impose different charges on them? What do you think about that?
I don't agree with that. There are some, I think some coaches, I don't know many, but I think there might be one or two that do that. Whether they're very successful, I'm not too sure. But I don't actually agree with that. I agree with having a set fee, and I agree with that fee to be a good fee as well. Because, like what I said before, if people don't pay, they don't pay attention. So the other problems you can have with that, and I mean, I thought that as well once. When usually those questions usually come from a coach who's just starting out and who is struggling to get clients, and so that's where that question usually comes from. But it also can come from a sense of, we're coaches, we want to help people, right? And so we can sometimes have, especially when you start out, that sort of guilt feeling that, wow, I want to help these people, but why? How can I take all that money off them, you know? But they'll find it from somewhere. they will find the money from somewhere if they want to get coached by you. And something I do, this is just me personally, because I do like to give back, and only I was telling Andreas
yeah, listen carefully, it's a really great tip.
Just the other night I coached a girl, a lovely woman from Bolivia.
For those of you who don't know it, I think it's in
South America.
South America, Middle America.
So,
any Bolivian
somewhere around there anyway.
far away from Malaysia.
Yeah. And I did that. It was just a one-off session. It was about 45, 50 minutes. And it was just to help her with one issue and to give her some inspiration, which, you know, the feedback I got, you know, I've done that for her. But for me then, you see, that helps my mind then, because I'm helping people. When I was in the UK as well, I used to go on a website where young people, it was for young people actually, who didn't have money, and I had a profile on there and people could go on and they could ask questions. There was lots of people on there actually with different experiences, and I used to answer. Obviously the site vets you and etc, and they monitor what's being said, but on there I would help people as well. So that's another great tool, by the way. If you want to get some experience and you want to give something back, then go and register for something like that.
KG,
I used to spend an hour a week on it.
And I think it is something, if you can give us a link afterwards, I can post it as well, or you can post it.
Yeah, I don't know of one over here, but this was one in the UK that I used.
Okay. But the one with the woman from...
Oh yeah, there's a coaching group, by the way, yeah, sorry, there's a coaching group on Facebook that is for new coaches. And if you want experience, you can go in and post and say, I've got an issue, can you PM me? You get the practice and I get the coaching. So you can go in and have a look at that as well.
Do you know the link? Not now, but
yeah,
later
I should do.
So if you have the link, just post it at a later stage.
I'll post it.
KG is also asking, thank you very much, KG. Your opinion on social influencers on Facebook and other platforms giving coaching tips with huge followers. And Justin asks, how to get the accountability from a tough client? Okay, two questions. Tough client, credibility most likely from a tough client, and secondly, how? What was KG saying again? And it's moved already. Hold on.
Okay, how do you get credibility from a tough client?
How do you get credibility from a tough client? Yeah.
Right. First of all, your client should be seeing your information out there on social media in the form of videos like this, for example. Blog posts,
result,
your website, etc, etc. So if they're still not convinced at that stage, then you're not the right coach for them. It really is as simple as that. I always believe in, I shouldn't have to sell my coaching services. If I've got to sell to somebody, then they're not ready to be coached. So I'm not going to sit there and try and convince somebody of my credibility. I'm really not. They can see me online, they can see what I've done. If that's not enough for them, then they can go and find another coach.
Also, Justin, if somebody is coming to you for coaching, you can always offer it as an opinion from your side, but they want your service to get over a problem, a challenge, an issue they are facing. So if they push back, either there's rapport broken a little bit, maybe something earlier happened, or I would ask my client, who is the coach? Basically speaking, because sometimes it happens that somebody might come and say, I have the opinion that what you propose to me is not working. Who is the coach? Who has got the experience, basically? They come to you for coaching advices, right? They come for you because they want your advice. That's why they pay for. And if they pay for it, they pay for your expertise. If they push back, why would they, from the first beginning, why would they push back when they pay for it already anyway? Either the rapport broken, or they haven't got, I don't know why they would push back, seriously. They haven't got the buy-in yet. I would say, who's the coach? And I would send them away and say, I can't coach you if you push back. At least try it out overall.
Yeah, it depends at what time that you're getting a tough client, at what stage of the process, you know, at the beginning before they've paid, or
maybe
after you've paid, you know. I wasn't
true.
too sure there. My answer was if it was before
the coaching starts.
Before the coaching starts, yeah. That was my answer.
There are two different things. It's a good question, like narrowing down.
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
like narrowing it down and
So you got
understanding
two
the
different
issue.
answers.
One is during the coaching, who's the coach and who's got the experience. And I think they are only resistant, they only dare to be resistant actually if your coaching is too cheap. Because then it doesn't matter to them, right? If I only pay 30 or 40 or 50 ringgit, I can push back. But if I pay 500 ringgit, I want your opinion. I know my problem, but I want your opinion.
Well, I did have I don't know if this would help at all, but I did once have a very resistant, not resistant client if you like, but we'd spoken on the phone, everything was going okay. When he came to my office, he came in and he paid me cash, so he had to pay me when he came to see me. So we came in and we're chatting.
That's good.
He gave me my money, I put it in the drawer, and then he said to me with this real smirk on his face, you know, he said to me, he said, Robert, he said, I'm here, he said, because you're my last resort.
Oh, I had to say me, okay.
So my first response was, initially, I made light of it, and I said to him, I said, whoa, I said, you're probably in big trouble then, if I'm your last resort, you know. So he said, no, and he sort of went up like a peacock, you know, and he was, I think he'd adjusted or something, he'd stood up anyway, to try and show this superior thing. And he lifted his chin up, looked down at me and smirked again, and he went, no, he went, you're just my last resort. So I stood up and I said to this guy, I said, you know what? I said, I'm not your last resort. I said, I'm your last excuse. That's what I am for you. I said, so what I'm going to do, I said, you can go and waste another coach's time.
Right.
And he was like, I've just paid you, you should be seeing me, had that attitude. So I leant down into the drawer, got his money out, put it in his hand, I walked to the door, opened my door, he still stood in the office.
No.
I opened my door and said, get out, go and waste somebody else's time.
That's what you have to do.
And he walked out. He couldn't believe it, you know, and he just walked out. The next day, he phoned me. He'd been to 6 or 7 other coaches.
Whoa.
And I think 2 counsellors as well, or something like that.
Same day or what?
No, within
Okay.
about 3 months,
Okay,
you know.
okay. Earlier.
Because his wife was telling him that he was, you know, not performing to his potential and all of this, and was wasting away, etc., etc. So he phoned me up and he said, Robert, he said, you were absolutely right. He said, and I didn't realise it. He said, you were my last excuse. And that's what I told my wife. No one else had been able to help me because they were all, oh, I'll help you. But I really broke his patterns, if you like, by being very abrupt and very nasty. And so he said to me on the phone, listen, I'll pay you double. Can I come back and see you and I'll give you double the amount? And I said, you can come back and see me, but it doesn't have to be double the amount. And he came back, we had a great 3 or 4 sessions.
That's
Fantastic.
what you need to avoid sometimes. He said something very, very important, that you are not the excuse for them, that even the great Robert, great Andreas, great Horace, great Blake, great Justin cannot help me. I am hopeless, I am helpless, I have found another excuse for failing, because some people, they look for failure and you gotta put them onto the spot. And that's again a reason why I wouldn't charge cheap. Because if they have to pay a lot, they pay for your service, they pay for your time, and they pay for value. You want to offer value, you want to give value, you don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste their time. And if they want to have an excuse for failure, send them somewhere else. Don't even deal with them, because they will also speak badly about you anyway. Let me check if there's one more question on my side. Anything you want to say?
I just wanted to add there as well on charging them, is you also have to think is, how much is it worth to them? Not just to you. How much is it worth to the client? You're going to change that client's whole life for the better. You know, you could have 3 sessions with that client that reshape that client's destiny.
Oh, yeah.
How much is that worth to them? So if you broke up that money over a 30-year or a 20-year period, they're paying peanuts for what you can actually do for them. Peanuts, really.
And
So
I
charge
congratulate you on charge high. You say that again.
Charge high.
if there's no other question right now, feel free, share this video one more time. Like our Facebook page, sharing is caring. Also, I'm going to post this video on YouTube. If you are not a subscriber to Asia Mind Dynamics YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe to us as well. Subscribe to our mailing list. You can find that in asiaminddynamics.com as well. Next week, I'm going to interview the guys already here. I'm listening to the video. It's somebody from Penang. I'm not mentioning the name yet. You will like that interview as well, because it hopefully or surely will give you a totally different slant. I thank you for listening in here today. Thank you, Robert, for spending time.
We hope we answered your questions as well.
And if you have more questions or so, feel free to post some more comments. We are checking it.
Yeah.
Not forever, but we are checking it and answering the questions in the best way possible. And also, Robert, please provide that link to that Facebook group. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I will do.
As an idea, so we can help more people even across the world. And how cool would that be for you if you can say, I coach somebody from Bolivia, or I coach somebody from Kazakhstan, or wherever these people are coming from.
Germany.
Or Germany, yeah. You can't coach Germans, okay? All right, some of you I'm going to see tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Create your life, and wonderful for being here.
Remember, anything is possible.
Anything is your slogan. Anything really is possible. That's what
my
you're
slogan,
saying.
yeah.
Okay, guys. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.